Hello. Today, altcoins have dropped by 20 to 50%, and a number of coins have reached levels where they can be bought back very profitably. Moreover, I believe that the alt season will start in the near future, and for those who believe in it, pay attention to the coins I will show today first. I've highlighted 3 categories with different flags, marking them in green, yellow, and red. I'll start with the questionable setups, but which are theoretically acceptable for buying. Conditionally, even though they are red flags right now, I've marked 2 of them, 2 coins. Let's start. The Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic is a coin with a relatively high capitalization. And why did I mark it with a red flag? Because ideally, you should buy back in the setup where Ethereum Classic is currently sitting, at least from the level of 25.5, or ideally even closer to the bottom, at 18 and 19. Right now, it's priced at 30, which is a bit expensive. However, it dropped sharply from resistance, and during the alt season, that resistance will likely be broken. Even without an alt season, the potential from the current level is 270% in a bullish market, even if altcoins don't shoot up significantly against Bitcoin. This is the nearest target, so theoretically, you can go in on the spot without leverage. With leverage, it's not advisable since there's no place to set a stop loss, which is not good from a trading perspective. I just mentioned why, but the setup itself isn't bad. There might be some double bottom here, or maybe even a triple bottom. The essence isn't important. It's important that the bottom pattern closes upwards, and after that, the price will likely rise significantly with higher lows present. The market is generally bullish. Everything is great, there's potential, and the drop was 25% in a day. Why not take advantage of this? Let's move on. The next coin, the second one that I've marked with a red flag, which can theoretically be considered for purchase, but it's a red flag. NMR is a low-cap coin marked with a red flag for risk, but it has a promising setup. Despite no breakouts, its potential growth is significant, around 150%. Buying on the retest is possible, but I dislike trading low-cap coins. In relation to the entire market, where some coins just flew away and corrected just a little, well, not a little, the 40%, they just flew away a lot. It's practically unnoticeable. And a number of other coins that are more or less not reacting to the growth at all, NMR looks good. First of all, it has formed a bottom. It's a low-cap coin, so the percentage growth here is comparable to other coins as well, even though there haven't been any technical breakouts yet. We're just retesting the level. The potential here, like with other coins, is significant, but due to the low cap, the potential is around 150%, and that's even without an alt season. We've already come off the bottom, and on the retest of the level, you can buy in. So, from a technical standpoint, the setup is perfect. The reason I marked it with a red flag instead of orange or green is that it's a low-cap coin, and I really don't like trading those. Check out the description. There will be a link to register on the Bybit exchange. This is the #1 exchange that I personally trade on, and it's the top one in terms of trading volume, liquidity, and it has the lowest fees. Only with this you will be monthly. Save around a few $100s. And why do I recommend registering specifically through my referral link in the description? For that, you'll get a cash bonus for registration ranging from $10,000 to $30,000 depending on the size of your deposit. Most of my subscribers get $100, but if you don't have any deposit at all, you'll at least get $10. If you're a big trader, with a good deposit, you can get up to $30,000, but for larger amounts, you'll need to reach a corresponding trading volume. On this page, click here and you can see what bonus you'll get for registering. The link is below. Enjoy watching. Let's move on. I've marked 5 coins with a yellow flag. And let's get started. Since we're on low caps, let's talk about them. From low caps, let's also talk about the hook, the setup of the bottom. The coin has pulled back significantly from its high. At one point, it was down 35%. It was a retest of the horizontal level, a retest of the trend line. There was a descending wedge here, and we've broken out of it. We're above the moving averages on volume in a bullish market, and we've come out of a bottom pattern. Everything looks great, plus we've pulled back sharply, making it an excellent entry point from a technical analysis perspective. The only reason I didn't highlight it in green is that it's another low-cap coin, one of those hype coins, but it's at the bottom, coming up from the bottom, and it's showing a technically good picture. And this picture looks better than on NMR first, because the bottom here is questionable regarding the listing on Bybit. This coin has even gone up from the perspective of its hook. You see, it's at much more attractive levels. On top of that, I prefer bottom setups when the price continues to move with the trend and then shoots out against the trend, like a descending wedge. I value it more than the same ascending triangle because these things which have upward potential can turn into some kind of ascending wedge, deceive, and so on. The market is bullish. GMT is at the bottom, forming an ascending triangle with a 30% pullback. It's a low-cap coin. Ideally, buy on a retest. The reversal setup rose with low volatility. Another reversal setup is taking off with a retest. Let's move on. But it's not just some no-name low-cap coin. GMT is at the bottom and has also come up from the bottom. Here it's something like an ascending triangle. It pulled back strongly, about 30%, and is currently trading down. The reason I didn't highlight it in green is that first, it's a low-cap coin, and second, it hasn't pulled back enough. Ideally, you want to buy it on a retest, roughly around here. The retest was very good. It follows patterns well. Pay attention to the reversal setup. It just shot up with relatively low volatility. Now there's another reversal setup. We're taking off with a retest. And notice that it likes to do retests and works them out well. Here, there's also some kind of pattern. After the retest, then here, the stop losses for everyone were roughly at the same level. So the coin is technically performing very well. It holds trends nicely. The time starts from here, which is another downside. It's very volatile, so only if you're trading spot without leverage, just a little. But this is a low-cap coin. Let's move on. Light. I marked it yellow. Why? Because the setup is just excellent. Even without an altcoin season, the potential is in the hundreds of %. So, regarding this huge ascending triangle that we've already broken out of, especially with trend bids, there's definitely some volume here. Plus, in an altcoin season, the potential here could be up to x10 if, of course, the altcoin season kicks off. But why did I mark it in yellow instead of green? Because I don't like it. Even though it has pulled back enough, I don't like vertical approaches to levels. And here we have an important level that was approached vertically, plus a breakout with a vertical approach. I prefer a slower approach, maybe some squeezes. And when it breaks out like that, that's what I trade. I don't trade this kind of setup, but you can't ignore such a strong setup. At least it's worth keeping an eye on it a bit. So, why did I mark it yellow? Again? Because ideally you want to buy right here at 80 and now it's at 110. Well, compared to what it was recently, at 150, 110, seems pretty cheap. Well, this is the ideal entry point at 80, something like that. But whether it will get there or not, I don't know. Take a closer look. It's a really good setup for alt season. By the way, Litecoin looks like this. This is against Bitcoin. It has completely pulled back, fully retested, so it's ready for alt season. The rocket hasn't taken off yet. The potential is huge, but the question is whether there will be an alt season. Even without it, the ascending triangle has the potential for a couple of 3x's. Let's move on. I marked NEO with a yellow triangle, a yellow flash. Apologize. Why yellow? Because the coin is very volatile, and from a technical standpoint, it doesn't move as well or as nicely as GMT does. Look at what's happening. There's a huge big bottom here. We broke out of it. Then we formed a head and shoulders pattern, a reversal pattern, and broke back down. So it wasn't just a blurring, the level here, some kind of ignoring it. No, it worked out well as a mirror level and we just poked right into it. So there's a huge big bottom, just like with Litecoin. There are ascending lows present. The coin is alive, meaning it's active. As you can see, it's being bought up well, and it has corrected quite a bit, right? 50% in just a few days, and it's just retesting the level. Why didn't I mark it in green? Again? Because the coin has been active lately, but overall it's volatile. And if you open the chart for the past periods, of course, it has rolled back to zero, and buying it right now is quite risky. However, technically it's not something you should ignore. Ignoring this chart would be a mistake. It's worth keeping an eye on. So it has pulled back, and theoretically you could enter somewhere around here. Let's move on. I also marked Zcash with a yellow flag because it has already shot up quite a bit. Yeah, it corrected by 36%. The bottom level it reached is practically at 57, and ideally it should come down to around 45 to pick up a position here. But even that will be risky because, well, it's a volatile coin. You can see it shoots up and then drops vertically. There are no guarantees. But technically, you can see this U-shaped reversal. I just love these kinds of reversals. You might even find a level a bit lower, in case the market drops even more. Ideally, it would be great to buy it at 35. Whether it gets there or not is another question. So of course, not in green. I marked it. The volatile coin shot up sharply. It didn't pull back too much, but the setup is excellent. Such setups even without an alt season. Well, there's potential for a retest of the maximum for this U-shaped thing. Maybe there will be some kind of handle there, or maybe a double bottom, it doesn't matter. During an alt season, it might actually break through all of this and shoot up. The potential here is huge. And even though it has shot up, just in case of an alt season, I'm showing how this thing looks against Bitcoin. At the bottom, there's an even cooler pattern of an ascending triangle. Yeah, the volatility is high. You see, it's off the charts, but it's at the bottom. Well, in the case of some alt season, 100% is just guaranteed up to key levels, some strong ones. It might even go above the 1,000 moving average. Let's go significantly, like happens in an alt season. And I marked 2 coins in green, so pay attention to them. First of all, Monero. Monero is a live coin, meaning it got delisted from Binance. It might seem like, why do we need such coins? Why buy them? Well, if you're trading on Binance, then of course you can't do that. Although maybe on futures, it's still there, I don't know, you have to check. But after being delisted from Binance, it didn't die. It was immediately bought up. Moreover, it hasn't updated its bottom since then. It formed a huge ascending triangle pattern and broke out of it. And right now, during this current dip, it just wiped everyone out, scared people off. It's quite noticeable. All the volumes have been cleared out here. Basically, there won't be anyone to sell the coin. It's quite noticeable. All the volumes have been cleared out here. Well, basically, there won't be anyone to sell the coin. Everyone who wanted to sold it here at high volumes. It has dropped significantly, but it's being held up. It's currently just below an important level, but it's clear that the market is bullish and the coin hasn't died. There's interest here. All the passengers have already been unloaded. The strong coin hasn't taken off. It has potential. I'm showing the chart on a larger scale. What happened on the left side? Look how well the manor stood. It hasn't dropped, it hasn't updated its bottom, it hasn't updated its lows all this time. Even when it got delisted from Binance, it just retested a level that it had already broken through before. It's as if nothing supernatural happened, like it doesn't even matter that it got delisted from Binance. And this is a very strong pattern. It's a very strong setup, probably comparable to what Tron TRX showed, which has already moved on. You definitely shouldn't buy it. Well, something like that, something like that. A big correction, but not a bottom. You see, the trend is still upward. Here it is, a big correction, and the coin remains at this level. Here it is, a big correction, and the coin is trading in this range. At this level, and sooner or later, it makes a V-shaped move. There it is. A V-shaped move. The potential is excellent. The coin has marked itself in green, and this setup is one of the best in the market. The coin hasn't taken off, so from a potential standpoint, it's just fantastic, and you can buy it. But you definitely need to keep in mind that it got delisted from Binance, so who knows what might happen with it. Be careful, use no leverage, and invest only a small portion, but it could significantly increase your balance. Next, we move on to OmiseGO. This is the second and only coin that I've marked in green for potential alt season because even though it shot up quite a bit at one point, it has already pulled back by 30%. It retested the level, formed a bottom, and has come up from that bottom, potentially aiming to change its downward trend. And when the trend changes, the potential is 1.4, 2.2. And now the coin costs 0.46. The market trend has changed, but this coin hasn't, offering high return potential. It's at a good retesting level. Watch it, but don't invest all. Some coins may lag, and risks exist. Know your goals and risks before investing. These coins interest me, so consider them. Good luck. It's at the bottom, it has come up from it, and it's retesting at a good level. The potential, along with the whole market, will change its trend. Keep an eye on this coin. Of course, you shouldn't invest everything you have, especially since I've mostly listed coins that are lagging a bit behind the market and no one can guarantee that they will eventually catch up. There's a real chance they could lag throughout the entire upward trend. Something might grow like this, while others, like OmiseGO, might not do much. There are certain risks, and you need to be aware of what you're buying, what you're investing in, what your goals are, what risks you're taking, and what potential returns you might get. But I've explained why these coins are interesting to me. I recommend you take a closer look. You don't need to rush in and buy without thinking, but maybe something interesting will come out of it. Good luck.